A while back, I shared 10 small details that make a home look designer, and so many of you wrote asking the very same thing. What else? What are the little things I'm still missing? So I went back and I found 10 more. And these ones are my favorites because these are the details that add the soul. Here's what I have come to believe after years of walking through the homes that truly stop you in your tracks. Once a room has good furniture and good bones, the thing that separates a beautiful home from an ordinary one is the styling. The small, soft, sculptural things you place on top. And there is a real method to it, one that professional stylists use every day, and that most of us were simply never taught. So today, I am going to teach it to you. So here is how we will do this. We are not just going to list 10 objects. We are going to group them into the 3 things those objects actually do in a room. How they soften it, how they build weight and height on a surface, and how they turn an ordinary tabletop into something that looks collected instead of cluttered. Stay with me all the way to number 1 because it is the simplest, warmest thing on this whole list, and the one that makes a room glow at the end of the day when you finally sit down. Our first group is all about texture. Softening the hard, rigid lines of your furniture, because here is something your eye notices even when your mind does not. A sofa is a hard rectangle. A chair is a hard frame. A room full of straight edges feels a little cold, no matter how lovely the pieces are on their own. Soft goods are the cure and the easiest place for any of us to begin. Number 10. A genuine wool or cashmere throw blanket. We start with the coziest detail there is. A single beautiful throw laid over the arm or corner of your sofa. That soft, natural drape breaks up the rigid line of the furniture, and instantly the room feels warmer and more inviting. But the secret is entirely in the material, and this is where I want to save you some money. A thin, shiny acrylic throw reads as cheap the moment the light touches it. A genuine wool, a soft cotton, a linen, or if you want to treat yourself, a cashmere throw, has a weight and texture that reads as expensive from clear across the room. This is one worth spending a little on. My tip: watch for these at the end of winter when the good ones go on sale, or at estate sales, where a beautiful wool throw can be had for almost nothing. And when you set it down, please do not fold it into a stiff little square. That is the tell of a room decorated but not styled. Drape it. Let it fall naturally over one arm, a corner just touching the seat. That easy, effortless drape is what reads as designer. It should look as though you just got up from under it, which, on a cool evening, you very well might have. Number 9 adds the second layer of softness, and it is a detail you have seen 1,000 times without knowing what you were looking at. Number 9. Throw pillows with a detailed edge. Now, nearly every one of us has throw pillows, but one small thing separates the pillows that look custom from the ones that look like they came 4 in a pack from a big box store. The edge. Look closely at the pillows in any expensive-looking room, and you will see a finishing detail running along the edge. A neat cord of piping, a little braid, a row of soft bobble trim, a gentle fringe. Veranda magazine spoke with a design director on this exact subject, and she said these details. A cord of piping, a fringe, a braid used without hesitation are what lift a room to a whole new level. That trimmed edge quietly tells the eye each pillow was chosen with care, not grabbed as a bland matching set. So next time you choose pillows, run your fingers along the edge and look for that detail. And mix your textures and sizes, a little velvet against a little linen, a larger square beside a smaller lumbar. And here is something that saves both money and closet space. You do not need to buy new pillows at all. Buy just the covers, the ones with that beautiful trimmed edge, and slip them over the pillow forms you already own. 2 seasons, 2 looks, 1 pillow. Now our second group, and this is where it gets genuinely fun because this is the part nobody ever teaches you. Visual weight on surfaces. Your shelves, your console, your mantle, the top of a dresser. The secret to styling these is not filling them up. It is building height, weight, and a little hierarchy, so your eye has somewhere to travel and something to rest on. Here are the 4 objects that do exactly that. Number 8. Sculptural bookends. We have talked before about stacking books flat, but standing a few upright on a shelf or console is where bookends come in, and a beautiful pair is a designer detail hiding in plain sight. A solid pair in stone, marble, aged brass, or carved wood does two jobs at once. It holds your books upright and tidy, and it adds two matching points of real visual weight and height to a surface, framing the books between them like a little museum exhibit. Cheap plastic or wire bookends disappear. A weighty pair with genuine material becomes part of the display itself, another to hunt for secondhand. A vintage brass or marble pair at an estate sale often costs a fraction of new and carries twice the character. Number 7. A lacquered or inlaid decorative box. Here is one of the most useful styling objects a designer owns, and one almost nobody else thinks to buy. A beautiful decorative box, a glossy lacquered one in a rich color, a delicate bone inlay one, a warm tortoiseshell finish, or a simple wooden one with a lovely grain. Why so useful? Two reasons, and the second you will especially appreciate. First, it gives you instant height and a flat surface to layer on, a box on a stack of books, a small object on top, and you have built a little staircase for the eye to climb. But second, and this is the one I love, it quietly hides the clutter of real life. The remotes, the coasters, the reading glasses, the spare keys, all of it disappears inside something beautiful, right there within arm's reach, instead of scattered across the table. Styling and storage in one elegant object and in a home where you actually live, that matters. Number 6. A stone or brass decorative sphere. This one sounds almost too simple to bother with, but stay with me because it is a genuine favorite of professional stylists. A single object with real weight and a pure, simple shape. A sphere, an orb, in marble, stone, brass, or beautifully grained wood. In a whole room full of straight lines and right angles, the walls, the shelves, the frames, the furniture, a sphere is a pure organic curve, and the eye simply loves it. It is a moment of rest. Set on a stack of books, resting in a shallow bowl, or sitting alone on a shelf, a heavy stone or brass sphere adds a point of calm, sculptural weight that looks intentional and expensive. It has no job except to look considered, and that, it turns out, is an important job. One small note since your matte ceramic pieces are coming up. Do not worry that a smooth, polished sphere clashes with a matte finish elsewhere. It is the opposite. A room wants a mix of finishes, matte beside polished, rough beside smooth. That contrast is what makes a collection feel rich instead of flat. Number 5. Coordinated picture frames. Almost every home I have been in has family photographs out, and I love that because that is what a home is for. But almost every home does one small thing wrong. The frames do not match. Here is the fix, and it costs next to nothing. Take the photographs you already treasure and put them into frames that all speak the same language. All in warm wood, or all in aged brass, or all in the same soft matte black. The moment your frames coordinate, a scattered handful of snapshots becomes a curated gallery-like grouping, the kind you see in a magazine. And here is the beautiful part. The photos themselves can be as personal, as old, as precious as you like. The grandchildren, the wedding, the dog you still miss. It is only the frames, all singing the same quiet note, that make the arrangement look designed. The easiest upgrade on this list, and it uses the things you already love most. Now, before we move into the last and my very favorite group, do me one small kindness. If you have found even one idea worth trying so far, tap that subscribe button. I make these for followers who believe, as I do, that a home should be beautiful at every age, and that the best rooms are built slowly, with care over a lifetime. And I promise you, number 1, the very last detail, is the warmest and loveliest of them all. You will not want to miss it. So stay right here. And now our final group, the one that truly ties a room together. I call it still life and sculpture. This is the art of creating a centerpiece for a coffee table, a dining table, a console that looks like a gallery vignette instead of a little pile of odds and ends. Get this right, and your surfaces stop reading as clutter and start reading as a collection you gathered over a lifetime. These last 4 objects are how. Number 4, a sculptural ceramic vase. Now, we have talked before about building height on a surface, so let us go somewhere new, into the material itself, because there is a real shift in what reads as expensive, and it can save you from buying the wrong thing. For years, the expensive-looking vase was the perfect one. Smooth, glossy, flawless, factory-made. That has completely turned around. What signals quality now is the opposite: the handmade, the artisan, the gently imperfect. And the clearest sign of it is the finish. A soft matte glaze instead of a high shine. A hand-thrown shape not quite perfectly symmetrical. A little texture in the clay where you can almost feel the maker's hands. A glossy, flawless vase looks like one of 1,000 off a machine. A matte, hand-thrown piece looks one of a kind, like something you chose from an artist. And you do not even need flowers in it. A beautiful matte vase left completely empty reads as a genuine piece of sculpture all on its own, which means no upkeep at all. So when you shop, reach for the matte over the shiny, the organic over the perfect, the piece that looks touched by a human hand. That is quietly the detail your eye has learned to reward. Number 3, dried branches or pampas in a tall vessel. Now, you may have heard me say that every room needs something from nature, but let us be honest about fresh flowers and live plants. Fresh flowers are gone in a week. Real plants need light watering, steady attention, and so many of the spots where you most want that natural height, a dark corner, a console against a windowless wall, a coffee table across the room, are exactly where nothing living could survive. This is the answer, and a wonderful one. Dried and preserved stems, dried eucalyptus, pampas grass, cotton branches, preserved magnolia, tall, graceful, bare branches. And here's the whole point. You get every bit of the organic, sculptural drama of nature. The height, the gentle movement, the soft, natural line, with no maintenance at all. No water, no sunlight, no wilting, no dropping petals, no guilt. They look beautiful the day you place them, and just as beautiful 2 years later. For the woman who travels to see family, who would rather not fuss, or who has that one impossible corner where nothing has ever survived, this is how designers get that natural element to stay, and stay beautiful, permanently. Keep it simple and generous. One type of stem, grouped fully in a tall vessel. And let its natural shape do the work. Number 2, a small sculpture or a decorative bust. This is the single detail that tips a room from nicely decorated into genuinely collected. A piece of true sculpture. And I do not mean anything grand or expensive. A small abstract form. A little classical bust, a carved wooden figure, a hand, an animal, an interesting shape with real presence. Here is why it is different from everything else on this list. Every other object we have talked about has a job. The throw keeps you warm. The box hides the remotes. The vase could hold a flower. But sculpture has no practical purpose whatsoever. It exists in your home for one reason only, because you found it beautiful. And that, more than almost anything, is what quietly signals a curated, personal, truly expensive home. A little bust on a stack of books, a small carved figure on a shelf, and suddenly the room feels as though it belongs to a woman with a real eye and a real story. And here is the loveliest part. These are exactly the treasures you find at estate sales and antique shops, often for a few dollars. And those, the ones with a little age and history, are always the most characterful of all. And now, number 1, the simplest, warmest thing on this entire list, and the one I saved for last on purpose. Number 1, a hurricane candle holder with a real pillar candle. Here it is. After all the sculptural weight and beautiful texture, the detail that makes a room truly glow, at the end of a long day when you finally sit down, is the oldest and most comforting one there is. Candlelight held in a tall glass hurricane. A tall glass hurricane with a substantial pillar candle inside does 3 designer things at once. It adds height and a gleam of glass to your surface. It brings that warm, flickering light no lamp can imitate. The light that makes everything and everyone in the room look softer. And it creates a natural, elegant centerpiece for a coffee table or dining table without a single other thing needed beside it. And here is the practical version, because I know many of you, very sensibly, do not want an open flame in the house, and I am right there with you. This look works just as beautifully with a good flameless pillar candle. The nice ones now have a real wax shell and a soft flickering light, and the best run on a timer. You set it once, and every evening at the same hour, it turns itself on and fills the room with that warm glow just as you are settling in. The entire designer effect and all the comfort of it, with none of the worry. So that is the whole method. We did not simply list 10 pretty things to buy. We softened the hard furniture with texture. We built weight and height on the surfaces. And we composed real little still lifes, instead of scattering knickknacks and hoping. Texture, weight, and composition. That is how a professional stylist thinks when she walks into a room. And now you think that way too. So please do not run out and buy all 10 this week. That is not how a beautiful home is made. Pick one single surface, the one you look at most, the coffee table, the mantle, the entry console, and style just that one using these 3 ideas. Soften it, build it, compose it. One surface done thoughtfully will teach you more than any amount of shopping. Now, if this way of seeing your home helped you today, you are going to want the video I am linking right here next. It is the very first 10 small details that make a home look designer, the ones that started this whole conversation. Go watch that one now. Pick the one detail from either list that spoke to you most, and this week, go style just one surface in your home. I will see you in the next one.